This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I'm just looking at this bird up there, pecking at my citrus, my Florida citrus. They really do a number on it, and we grow citrus here, dry farmed. So I'm going to talk about Florida real estate and regenerative farming. And Florida real estate, people are buying it up, the land around here anyway, and developing it, because 5 acres and a new house on it is like ridiculous now. So they've discovered that. So what people do when they buy land here is they clear it. And most of the lots are lots without any trees on it that are just lawns. And if you want to have success in tropical fruit trees in Florida, you kind of need to have a built-in canopy. So finding a place with big trees was the most important thing for me, I think. And oh, they haven't discovered this citrus. It's the first time this is fruited, this citrus. It's nice, beautiful, clean citrus until the birds get a hold of it. Lemons, we grow lots of lemons, but we have like, I don't know, 8 different types of citrus we grow here. All started from seed. Organic seeds from our trees. I didn't know how to grow any of this stuff like this when I first started, and I looked for information on it, and I knew how to grow organically, but I didn't realize that you could grow all this stuff without ever watering it. I just fell into the same trap as everyone else, where everyone's watering everything. People are growing in pure hydroponics, rare houseplants and stuff. And look at these citrus, they're just amazing. 1 peck on this one. They told us we couldn't grow citrus. And I'd buy those trees at Home Depot, those citrus trees, and they would die. This is not my first place here. Then I discovered tropical fruit trees, and I slowly discovered that a lot of times the trees didn't need to be watered. And I took a bunch of soil classes and understood what was going on better in the soil, and realized that there's a whole team working to grow this. And they live in the roots of the plants. And I discovered that fungi are a major source of plant growing potential. And I was just amazed by all the frogs and stuff there are here in Florida. Vero Beach was the frog gigging capital of Florida before they put in all the drainage. For some reason, I know nobody says this, that everyone talks about doing earthworks. The earthworks are the result of our disturbance when you have to do earthworks, unless it's like super low areas. But I know that our property is like 3 feet below our neighbors, and because they added fill. And when it rains heavily for weeks on end, which it hasn't done for a while, it's been very dry, sparse amounts of rain. But when it rains like that here, that our property will not have any standing water, but theirs will, 3 feet above ours. And there was a drainage area here. It's not a citrus, but it's the same type of thing, same ditch type system that goes down here and then right. And when this was all lawn, it was like 20 feet of water. So your water is from the disturbance. And when you remove all this carbon, when you're doing the earthworks, all this stuff, you're removing water holding capacity of your soils, and you're removing water from your soils. So that's what makes this property so valuable, is I have focused solely on clean regenerative methods. And it's at the point now where I just have stuff to sell and am selling it. So at my leisure, I'm never gonna be a slave, or I shouldn't say that word. I shouldn't be I shouldn't have to work for a website. So I'm not ever gonna get you a website, because that's just not in me. So like that you buy off of, and then I have to fill all the orders. I just don't see myself ever doing that, and I'm not gonna do it. So I just do what I can do, and mostly I like to bring people, when people want to come buy fruit and look at the farm, I like to introduce them to fruit, and they always buy seeds and fruit. So that's kind of what I like to do, and I don't only have to do it when I want to do it. I like to do it in the morning. So I've met some interesting people that way, and they're all growing like this. The weeds is where your water is being held. The trees is where your water is being held. I always talk about dry farming, but when I first came here, not everything survived when I planted it in the lawn. I killed a lot of trees. I don't know if it was just me, or it was the compaction, or what. I just had to figure it out. I didn't know what was going on. That's why I took the soil classes and said, and it took me a few more years to realize that some areas were totally compacted. But I do know that if you scrape all this stuff up and then try to dry farm it in a wood chips mulch, and it's probably not possible. In fact, I'm sure it isn't. I know that trees that I did that to died. Small seedlings would not survive, but seedlings that I planted in the weeds this big all survived the drought. And this ditch that used to always be a 20-foot river is slowly filling up with humus. So the low spots do balance each other out. All this stuff is like a wick to the water. So it collects the water, and then if you have the right biology, the fungal biology, it wicks it away quickly in the low spots and prevents standing water. I don't think earthworks are needed. I think they do more damage than good. Sure, you need them for your house, or if you're building a pond or something, but I think you have to grow the fungi in order to try to get the cleanest, healthiest food available. Because the pollution is coming in from everywhere. I act like we're all pure and clean, but I know that my neighbors that just put a pond in had a giant agricultural flow well where that pond is that rusted off, and is like pumping hundreds of gallons. There's ditches between both sides of it, so I don't think it's coming over that way, but I think it's coming through the vapors. The pollution goes into the air and all the wind blows this way, so I know that I can smell my neighbor's smoke when they're burning their trash. So it's I can't get away from it. But fungi have a unique ability to buffer pollution. I don't know how I found my way with the fungi, but I am fascinated by them, that they've been shown to harvest water on the redwoods in California during times of drought in their leaves. The redwoods do it, the other plants do it. Some plants do it better. Probably redwoods do it very well. They got a lot of surface space. They have long periods of dry. So yeah, the real estate, it's just, I don't know. I just hate seeing Florida just destroyed by well-meaning people, and it obviously works. I mean, I think I've clearly shown all of my hundreds of videos that we don't have to water, and the stuff they tell you have to be watered isn't. They tell you you need to water the heliconias 3 times a week. You know, the people that are in the position to write curriculum. But nobody well, not nobody, because I do, talks about the same plant that never needs water. It's because we work on the soil. That's what makes this place so valuable. That and the huge giant trees and the location. So I got it. Like this place is always like casually for sale because some people want to know. So the price is like $4 million, and it's probably higher than that. So that's why I don't list with a real estate agent. I don't want to be tied into a contract, and I've looked to see what's out there, and there's just nothing out there. It seems like 5 acres is like, I don't know. First of all, you can't find it in the good areas, and you definitely can't find it with giant old oak trees like this. And a lot of this stuff is going east of 95. If you're building like east of 66th Street, that's zone 9B, and it does freeze a little bit harder. And if you don't have these big trees to protect, you don't have the biology built into your orchard floor, and your trees are probably going to freeze every year. Of course, it's only frozen here for the last 2 years. Previous 12 years I've been here, it hasn't frozen. So it's very frustrating. So we've had a place in Vero Beach for 12 years, continuously. One on the island, not a house, a condo. I hated it. I liked the island, but I hated the island. A condo. Ugh. Anyway, I don't know. It's hard to get everything across in just one video, and people hear different things. Dry farm guavas. I mean, it's not just one thing, it's everything can be dry farmed. I don't think there's anything that can't be dry farmed in here at this point. Yeah, but you got all the weeds. Couldn't do it without the weeds. Couldn't do it without staying off of it. I take the same path. See the little trail right there? I don't go walking through everything. I do when I'm looking at a tree for fruit, but the rest of the time I stay off of it, or when I'm planting. go look at those. Oh, the cassava here. It's a gift from my friend that grows like this, but he doesn't, he has a flow well that he leaves on in his pond 24/7. That's watering. He says he can't do it. He can't do it because his trees are addicted to water. But I mean, look at this dry farm cacao. We have cacao. We're on our 2nd generation of dry farm cacao here in Florida. And not here, but we have the 2nd generation planted here. 1st and 2nd generation. And that was something they said you couldn't grow here. And cacao can take flooding areas. So it's a super high value crop too. It's like, I mean, these aren't cheap crops. That's what I'm kind of surprised that it's just hasn't gotten, just people haven't caught on to this more. They just can't get past the weeds. That's the #1 problem. Years and years and years, hundreds of years of mowed lawns in Florida. Or 100 years. Hundreds of years everywhere else. It's hard to get past. And for some reason they think that Florida is different. It is different. It could be Eden. If people stayed off of it and stopped destroying it, it could be Eden. Or if enough of us plant wild gardens and focus on soil health, basically. It's not really the soil health, it's the whole picture. So you have to look at the whole thing. It's all connected via air and water. So you kind of have to look at it. What are you doing to the water, and what are you doing to the air? What are you adding? What input are you adding? Even water is an input. My neighbor's an input. If they affected my ability to certify something as organic, because we are still certified organic, that's an input. And there's no laws against them doing it. They have more rights than I do. The Organic Association, the certifier, they don't even bother sending a letter to the people that did it. I mean, that's why I'm not going to recertify, basically. They just care about their money. And it's sad. But I know that if you want to get rich, you could do it growing tropical fruit in Florida, and you kind of don't have to do anything. So I don't think this Monstera deliciosa fruit is ready. Starting to fruit everywhere else, like tons of fruit, or flower, I should say. So it's flowering right now. These other fruit have been on there for about a year, so this is flowering now. And so it should, oh, maybe it is starting to ripen up over here. I just want to make sure it doesn't look ready yet. I say when this starts separating, but it's still it's not ready. I'm very excited about this fruit. I'm looking forward to eating it. Yeah, I mean, how do you put a price on something like this that I've nurtured and developed a brand for? Because basically that's Florida Natural Farming is the brand here. I can't take it from this farm. So that's where a lot of the value comes from, I believe. And the fact that you can't replace this. There is no other areas that you could replace it. When we deal with real estate agents, it's like, oh, what about some people don't want to do all that work? I think I'm probably one of the laziest people I've ever met in my life because I have hypothyroid issues, and I get cold. I don't really overheat, which is good, but it's kind of a zero maintenance type thing. It's not being neglectful, it's being mindful. A lot of people think this is neglectful, but oh, I did have some fruit on this. I didn't think this flowered this year because I didn't see any flowers on it for the first time ever. This is a I thought the freeze affected it so badly. Never froze anywhere, but this is a what is it? This is the Syzygium wax jambu, and it has never been one of my favorites, but I like it. Now that I only have 3 freaking fruit, I'm gonna pull one off just for the hell of it. I know they're probably not right, but I have a nice flavor, but I have a funky texture. That's what it is. Yeah, very little work, but big production. Oh, I'm seeing ripe dragon fruit. Right at the top there, on the other side. This is one that gave me my 3-pound fruit 2 years ago. I have to go look at that. We get fruit continuously about 10 months out of the year. I imagine that I'm talking have fruit, not once a month. I'm talking every day. Which is nice. I guess I should have checked if there were seeds in that. But this is that male. Is this a male or? Yeah, this is a male MB tree. Basically, nice trees, but no fruit. I don't like the vines growing on my trees. These trees are so tough that I don't think I could hurt it doing that. Normally I would not do that to a tree, but I mean, they're just really tough trees. I'm sure I have fruit on this hermaphrodite tree that we got over there, the MB. I made it, I don't know, like $1,000 off this tiny little tree this year. Is that a little tiny tree? I love it. Here's a pepper tree growing right next to it. It probably would be good for the tree, but I don't want it. Yeah, there's still some fruit on it, but I decided I would leave all the fruit that was on there on the tree. Not that much. Thank you, tree, for all. So it's like 7 feet tall. 7 feet by, I don't know, 5 feet? $1,000, one tree. Yep. Little 6-inch bowl of cherry-sized fruit for $185. Mm-hmm. This katuk is like, I could see it. This gets huge. I guess I could grow my anthuriums, I mean my philodendrons up it. Use it as a trellis. Maybe. Okay, I wanted to see that dragon fruit. Which one is it? It's a pretty nice looking fruit. Looks ripe. There it is. I gotta get my picker over there. Yeah, this Inga spectabilis. I know I showed this yesterday, but it's like covered in bloom, more buds. So I expect it to give us some fruit this year for sure. Please, so be it. Anyway, this is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I hope you have a beautiful day.